Hi, everyone. So we're about to start. My name is Elizabeth Kiernan, and I'm a computer science student at Valencia College, and I'm very proud to be here as a Diversity in Tech student ambassador. Today, I also have the pleasure of introducing today's Empower Lunch speaker, Donna Sakar. Donna is the head of the Windows Insider program, and along with being a software engineer, she's also a fashion designer and author. She's overall just an inspiring person and successful woman in tech. So please welcome Donna Sakar.
Hello. How's everyone's Ignite? It's good. All right, so I have some good news and some bad news for all of you. The bad news is people are talking about you. They're talking about you. They're saying things that you don't even know what they're saying. Everyone's saying it. Your peers, your boss, that weird dude who works down the hall, they're all talking about you. The good news is that not only can you know what they're saying, but you can actually control it. Who wants to do that? Mind control. Yeah? All right, so here's what you're gonna do. I'd like for everyone to do this now. This is one of the few times in a presentation someone's gonna say, get your phone. Just get one. Get your phone. Open browser to incognito mode if you can. And I'd like you to search for your name the way it's written on your badge. Don't get creative, just the way it's written on your badge. If it's spelled wrong on your badge, put it in that way, because that's how people are looking for you. Just do it. I'm making my team in the front do it too, so everyone has to do it. All right, who has results? All right, people have results. What do you think? You like what you see? It's okay, yeah. Is there anyone who's like, what the hell is this? Is there anyone who's like, yeah, kind of okay, a little basic, a little pumpkin spice, huh? Right, but guess what? This is what the rest of the world sees. Someone meets you at Ignite. They meet you on the street, they meet you at work. They're like, oh, that person was really interesting to talk to. Let me find out more about them. This is what they see. And you need to think about what they found. And is it telling the whole story? So rather than just me talking in the abstract, we're gonna use two real humans who have undergone this process, survived, and are here to tell the story today. They are Raji Raj, the pilot from the M365 demo yesterday, and Brandon LeBlanc, who is my coworker on the Windows Insider program. These two amazing, amazing humans who I love so much are known for, Raji's known for coding, she's known for hiking, she's known for being a runner and a great photographer, just amongst the people who met her and in her search results. Brandon is known for having a cute dog named Kilo. That's him right there, very cute. He's known for being on the Insider team, and he's known for being a tremendous Microsoft fanboy. We're like, okay, that's a decent brand, but that's not the whole story. This is not who these people are. I know them deeply, I've known them for many years, and this is not at all the whole story. So we decided that we're gonna do something about it. What we want the world to see is Raji is not just a great software engineer, but she's a very, very, very prolific speaker. She was a pilot, for God's sakes, in the M365 demo. She's also a super badass writer. She's a mentor to 45 entrepreneurs in emerging markets. She's a spectacular writer, and she coaches so many young in careers on how to have successful engineering careers. Brandon is probably the biggest Trekkie on the planet. He has Star Trek stuff collection that I still do not understand. He is a hardcore advocate of equality in technology because he believes it leads to better products. But none of that is shown in his public profile. None of it's shown. And these are two very lovely brands. So we needed to do something about this. We said, it's time for drastic action, friends. We are going to spin your tail. Unfortunately, it is true. If it's not online, it doesn't matter. Because the people in your inner circle, they already know who you are. And probably so far you've gotten the opportunities you have in your life that have led you here because of your inner circle, because the people who know you have known you for many years, who know you deeply. But what about opportunities outside your current circle? What about opportunities outside your organization, opportunities to say words on stage, to be invited to things, job options, side hustles? If people don't know about what you can do, then those opportunities are not going to come your way. So it matters. Let's do a test. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Who knows who this guy is? Hopefully everyone. Okay, good. What's your perception of him? Who is a perception they want to share of Jeff B? He's not here, I promise. He's not watching the live screen. Yeah. What do you think of Jeff B? Sorry, she's eating. I'm such a terrible person right now. Yeah. Innovator. There you go. Confident. Absolutely. These are the things people say about him when he's not in the room. Are they what people say about him when he's in the room? Probably. The reason he has this brand is because he worked for it. He didn't wake up one day and everyone's like, oh, that guy, bald dude on the street with the vest, he's an innovator. No, he worked for it. He worked for it. He did the thing, and now he's got this brand. So back to more good news, bad news. The bad news is you can't choose your brand. It's what other people say about you. The good news is you can write your own story. When you write your own story, that leads to your brand. You are the hero of your own story. Think about your favorite movie or book. Think. There's a hero, right? They're heroic because they're heroic. They're kind of shitty sometimes. They have flaws, but they're also great. They overcome some demons, whether it's their own demons or like some actual demons. They overcome things, and you're along with them on their journey. The reason you're bought into this journey in this book or movie is because of their personal transformation. Right now, today, acknowledge that you are the hero of your own story. Today, you're at the beginning of the story. It's called Origin Story, the ordinary world. But when you overcome a series of obstacles and you tell that story, you emerge as the hero. And if you bring people along on that journey, they will fall in love with you the way you have with your favorite fictional character. It's just human nature. People like following along on the journey. So how are we going to do that? First, why does it even matter, right? Why does it matter? You work in a company, you got a great job. Obviously, you got sent to Ignite, right? They don't send dumb people to Ignite. They send the best people they got. Of course they do. But guess what? If you have a strong personal brand, you're going to be an industry-recognized expert. There's people like Donovan Brown, Scott Hanselman, Jeff Snover. They all have the brands they do. PowerShell expert, DevOps guy, blockchain expert, because they have personal brands. It's not because they write code quietly in their office. That's not why you know these names. That's not why they're on keynote stages. It's because they have strong personal brands. It's not just about, hey, look at me. It's sharing the work you do. So industry recognized expert. You get to advance within your organization because by nature, you're going to get more opportunities if you have a personal brand. It pushes you to keep learning and growing. Once you've got a brand, you got to keep your brand. So you're going to keep learning and growing in your field and doing better every single year. You'll notice that Donovan and Scott and these guys, they turn up with a brand new talk every year. They're not going to show up with the same talk as last year because then they're not innovative and growing. This is how they hang on to their brand. You build way different networks because when you've got a brand, random people reach out to you and say, yo, can you come speak at my conference at CNN or at the UN? That's a very different network of people than the ones you hang out with all day. This is how you set yourself apart from your peers. And guess what? If you set yourself apart from your peers, you're going to get a lot of options for your next job. A lot of options. Without fail, building a personal brand is probably one of the greatest career hacks that I can share with you today. It's perfect for technical people. Everyone's like, oh, it's for people in marketing. No, it's for technical people because you have an actual hard skill. And that hard skill is highly valuable, not just to your organization, to your company, but to the industry and the world. That's why you're here. This fine gentleman is one of my coworkers, Vivek. Vivek is a software engineer at Microsoft. He has been for a decade. but he's also a filmmaker. He makes independent films about the plight of refugees from Syria. He's got a feature film coming out in the big theater. 10 years ago, he said, I'm a software engineer, but I've always been fascinated by film. So what did he do? He went to the 48-hour film festival, form teams, make a movie in 48 hours. He rolls in there, doesn't know anybody, joins a team. Their movie came in last out of 50 out of 50, but they finished. And now he can call himself a filmmaker. He's like, I am a filmmaker. Not a good one, but I'm a filmmaker. 10 years go by. His feature film is out in theaters. He's won the 48-hour film festival the last 3 years in a row. He did that by growing and expanding his brand every single day. He joined our team because we're like, you know what, we need a creative. Why would anyone think a software engineer is creative? Because of his personal brand. He's here at Ignite doing only creative things. He got the opportunity to make this feature film because of his personal brand. No one's like, yo, you're a software engineer at Microsoft, want to make a feature film? No one says that. No one does that. All right, so I'm gonna call up victim number 1, Raji the pilot, to share her story. So Raji and I met 2 years ago. Raji is your quintessential, really, really good engineer. And she's gonna tell you how she transformed to a really good engineer who sat in her office and wrote code super well to being the key demo or pilot of the M365 project.
Hello, everyone. Is my mic working? Hi. Well, thank you, Donna, for inviting me to speak at this event. It's an amazing opportunity to kind of look at this room and share my story with you. Like Donna said, once upon a time, I was that lonely engineer sitting in my office, and I was coding all the time. And I truly believed, and I still believe, that your work should speak for itself. You have to do amazing work. And I tell my mentees this all the time. In order to, progress in your career, you need to do 3 things. Number 1, you need to figure out what you're passionate about. What's your passion? What do you want to be known for? And you want to raise your hand and do it. Number 2, do it really, really, really well. Really nail what you're doing, right? Lastly, and I always believed this, even when I was that lonely engineer sitting in my office cranking reams and reams of code, that you have to talk about the work that you did. And I did that all the time with my immediate group of people, my team, my 12 engineers and my manager. That was my circle. I was very comfortable with that circle. So I talked about the work I did. Hey, I love engineering excellence. I want to talk about test-driven development. How do I do code? How do we establish code review practices, continuous development, all the nerdy stuff that I love talking about. I talked about that with my team and my established practices in my team, right? So my team knew me that I really cared about what I was doing and I was good at it. At some point in my career, as I progressed and I grew from being an engineer to being a technical leader in the company, that was just not enough. I remember very clearly my mentor and my dear friend and my ex-manager, Bambo Shofala. I remember going into his office one day. All of us have stories with Bambo Shofala, I think. He's a great man. So I go into his office and I sit down, we are having our one-on-one, and he's telling me I'm a brand new development manager in the team. And he's telling me, Raji, when I talk to people about you, the immediate team, your team, they know how good you are. Everybody talks about your technical track record, your technical excellence. But when I talk to people outside your team and I say all these good things about you, Donna, please cut me off if I'm saying too many things. But when I talk to people about you outside this immediate team, they have no idea who you are. They're like, Bambo, who are you talking about? This person, this great person. We've never heard about her. Because I did not intentionally go and build my brand outside of the immediate team that I was working with. That was a turning point in my career. That just clicked in my head that, what I'm doing so far has worked for me, but in order to grow more than this, I have to do more than what I'm doing right now. I have to be intentional about building my brand, right? This was a couple of years ago, actually. So this happened, and then Bambo told me that Bambo and Donna and Jeremiah and a bunch of other people, they had just started working on this project in Nigeria. It was the Insiders for Good initiative that they had just cooked up. And I loved it, except that I didn't know that I was going to be any good at it. The idea was that a group of people, very diverse skill set, marketing people, engineers, program managers, and salespeople, biz dev people, we were all going as a crew to Nigeria to learn more about how to develop software in emerging markets, but also how can we help mentor and coach entrepreneurs in Nigeria to stand up businesses for social good. This was part of the Windows Insider program. And so I said, you know what, I'm an engineering leader in this company. I have done a bit of engineering here, so perhaps I would be useful. I can talk to the entrepreneurs and coach them, which meant public speaking. I was not very good at public speaking, right? So I was not sure. It was completely outside my comfort zone. These are people I didn't know. These are not my immediate team. But I raised my hand. And that really did help, because that was the experiences that brought, that whole engaging in that crew brought, that has been so useful to me. So then, our paths crossed, Donna and my paths crossed, and one fine day as we were working on this project together, Insiders for Good, Donna looked at my brand online and she was not very happy. So she locked me. I'm not kidding. Literally, she locked me in a room. She said, hey, I want to talk about blah, blah, blah with you. Do you mind if I put some invites on your calendar for a couple of hours? Let's go to the Lincoln Center in Bellevue, and let's sit down and let's talk about some work stuff, right? So I thought it was a work meeting. I accepted it. She locks the door, and she says, open your browser. Go into incognito mode. Search for your name. What do you see? And I searched for my name. I'm known as Raju Rajagopalan at work. Search for my name. The first link was some random dude. The second link was an Indian woman who's living in India, not me at all, but it's very easy for people to get her confused with me. So my brand and her brand would just get mixed up, right? So I was not happy too. So that day I made a decision to say, you know what, I'm going to work on fixing this problem. And since then, I have been, that was a year ago, that moment when you locked me in a room. That was a year ago. And I have been intentionally working. She did. But I intentionally started working on that problem, and I was like, okay, so I need to do a few things. What do I want to do? Number one, what's the activity, right? What do I want to do? Number one, I like writing. As you saw, I think you said that I write, and I like writing. I really enjoy writing. So writing is an activity I want to do. Writing helps me with the other things that I like to do, which is coaching people and scaling my coaching, my mentoring to a larger audience. That's really helpful, and I like to, that's a way in which my creativity can be unlocked as well, so that's good. So writing is the activity I want to engage in. Number two, what's my platform? Right? So you have to pick your platform. For me, professional brand was the one that I wanted to improve. So my platform obviously was LinkedIn, right? So I intentionally said, I'm going to write, and I'm going to use LinkedIn. This is how I'm going to reach my audience. So since that moment, that day, a year ago, I have been building up my content on LinkedIn. I have been writing. I think now I have 14, 15 articles on LinkedIn. So I encourage you to search for me on LinkedIn and add me and read my articles. But that really helped in the sense that now I'm actually, I'm looking for a new role, which I have been looking for a new role for a couple of weeks now. I'm looking for a new role, and when I talk to people, all the VPs in the company, it's very easy for me to point them to, look, here is my LinkedIn bio. It's up to date. It's not very boring. It's not boring anymore. So it has you can read my articles, and you can see, what do I stand for as a leader? How do I want to run my team? What is how do I think? You can get a lot more information about me just by going to this place and reading about what I have written, right? So it's a very easy way for you to point people to, so they can understand you more as humans and not just as a person who builds online services and works in scaling services and so on. So that was, and then after that also, after I started writing and I've been coaching more and more people, and I started raising my hands for bigger and, speaking to bigger and bigger audiences. Amber here is there. She helps me with some of my demos, like the Microsoft 365 keynote demo that I did yesterday. That was I think a lot, 10,000 plus people, 20,000 plus people. Before I started doing these keynote demos, it was the largest audience I had spoken to was 300 people at our fun all hands where Donna pushed me outside my comfort zone to speak to 300 people. And I was so nervous. And believe me, even when I'm writing, the first time I wrote and I hit that publish button on LinkedIn, there is that fear in you always. Especially if you're introverted and you're like, what are people gonna say? Maybe what I say, what I write, people will not like what I'm saying. What will people think? What if I fail? What if I am standing in front of all those 10,000 people and I just forget all my words? And all these people are watching, all my VPs, the CEO of the company, everyone is watching. It would be a catastrophic failure, right? So that fear is in you always. And that fear, actually, the writing on LinkedIn helped me get past that fear, because 14 times, or how many ever articles I've published so far, I've hit that publish button and I've dealt with that fear in the pit of my stomach. And every time you do it, you overcome that fear. It really helps in raising your hand for bigger and bigger things. And yesterday, I was standing in front of 12,000 plus people. That fear was there, but you just need to learn how to deal with it and say, you know what, this is important for building your brand and spinning your tail, as Donna calls it. So that's my spiel. Hopefully I didn't.
Thank you. No, so how good was that? Now, would any of you think that Raji Raj is not a good speaker? No. Let me tell you a story about Kenya. So a year and a half ago, we'd launched our Nigeria Fellowship. We've gone to Kenya to announce our second one. We're standing up there, me, my partner in crime, Jeremiah, Bombo, and the audience is media. It's all Kenyan media. We're explaining the fellowship, what we're doing, why we're launching one in Kenya. We see Raji Raj sitting in the front row, and I'm like, just come stand with us. You don't have to say anything, but I want to make sure in the pictures you're in it. She's like, okay, she believes me. So she comes and stands in the corner. She's like, and I'm like, stand up straight because you're in pictures. She's like, okay. So she does. We stand up straight. And someone asked, so what are you doing about the tech? I said, let us hand over to our tech expert, Raji Raj. And the look she gave me, she was very unhappy with the situation because she believed my lie. But she was like, why are you making, why? No, she's like, no, I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying. But she did. She overcame the fear and she did. And after she was done being mad at me 2 weeks later, she was willing to actually go forth and have more public speaking engagements. The thing is that you're not going to like it the first time. You're not going to be like, oh, good, let me get out of my comfort zone. You like your comfort zone. You've made it for yourself. That's why you like it, right? It was hard for you, but you did it.
Hard. So I think two things. You need, number one, you need an enabler. You need someone who pushes you out of your comfort zone. But you also need to be willing to be enabled. You need to tell yourself that, yeah, I mean, the time you told me 300 people, all of fundamentals, like that's my team, all of the organization, all hands, you are speaking. I'm like, no, you are very good at storytelling. You are speaking. No, you are speaking. So anyway, she pushed me, and I was like, I was, okay, I'm going to do it. She's pushing me outside my comfort zone. I'm going to do it. So you have to have both of that.
You have to be enabled. If you won't, then people give up on you. For our next act, we're going to call up a second morbidly shy person to tell his story in front of 250 of our closest friends. This is Batman. No, really, though. So I met Brandon when I started working on the Insider program. Brandon is hardcore Microsoft fanboy, lovely human, and he told me, I've never spoken in front of anyone except us. Like, well, that's very different. Do you want to tell us your story?
Well, I did speak in front of a group of people a long time ago, but there were probably about 50 Klingons in the audience. So yeah, when I started working for Donna, she encouraged me to kind of exert a little bit more energy into becoming a little bit more open and less introverted, or at least to manage my introvertedness. But she really kind of just challenged me a little bit. She sat me down and she's like, do you really want to be known as the Windows guy? And I've been working at Microsoft for almost 10 years, and I ran the Windows blog, and if you being my name, I'm associated with a lot of Windows things. And so I'm a Windows and a Microsoft fanboy, but I'm also a lot of other nerdy things. And so I wanted to kind of readjust my brand because coming in, I already had a brand and it kind of leaned a little much to one side. And so now I'm using my personal blog as well as Twitter to kind of rebalance that and kind of shift my nerdy energies to talking about things that are really important to me that may not necessarily be Microsoft. And as part of that, it's also challenging myself to speak in front of groups of people and not at Star Trek conventions.
Not only Star Trek conventions. He's now doing tech demos for the Insider
Yes.
program as well. So good job,
yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so here's the thing. You can do this. This is not magic. These two people did not used to be this way. 2 years ago, they would not have stood up on stage with me. They would probably deny knowing me in public, right? But you can do this. We followed 5 easy steps, and I wrote it down in a book, and we're gonna walk through them now. Please feel free to take pictures as you choose. But it really is, first, being super good with who you are. Right now, what you see in the browser is your brand V1. This is it's your ordinary world, your origin story. You can get to the ideal world of your hero's journey, and you control that. Every single thing that other people say about you, you control. Because if you don't tell them what to say, they're gonna make that shit up on their own. You know this, right? People make shit up in the absence of information. So give them the information you want. All right, 1. You got to know what your brand is now. First of all, it is doing that search. Second thing, and this is the one that no one likes to do, but you have to do it. You have to ask 3 people. You have to ask them. Don't choose like your mom or your dad because they think of your brand as what it was when you were 5. You're known for being really good at eating sand. That's not your brand, okay? That is not your brand. Don't ask them. Don't ask people extremely close to you. Ask maybe former coworkers, former peers. People who are objective, people who have nothing to gain or lose by telling you the truth. Don't ask your spouse because they'll only say nice things. Trust me, we've learned all this through a series of activities. These 2 victims, we've A/B tested all of these. So ask the 2 questions. What kind of job or opportunity would you call on me for? This is like, hey, organizing a fundraiser, convincing that mattress sales guy to give me 50% off, whatever the thing is. What is the activity, job or activity they would call on you for? The second one is, what do I bring to my work and life that's different than other people who have my same how, than my same what? Many people around you are going to have similar jobs. I work in IT, I'm a cloud solution architect, whatever the title is. But the how you do it is generally different. How is your how different than everyone else's what? So you must know the answer to both of these questions because often we think of ourselves as a certain way, but the people in our ecosystem don't necessarily agree. And if the people in your ecosystem don't agree, then you've got a big delta between you, your ecosystem, and then the world. So let's just sort out the delta between you and your ecosystem. Once you do that, then you have to decide, what do you even want your brand to be? It can be anything you want it to be. The only thing we ask is that you are authentically you. It's very, very hard to build a brand around something you are not. If you're not someone who's going to be a dev, don't build a brand around I want to be a dev. Brandon has one of the best examples of brand that I like to call out because he is authentically a nerd. He's like, I am a nerd on purpose. He's like, I am going to be as nerdy as a human being can nerdily be. He's going to be king of the nerds, in fact, right? So that's why he's like, yeah, I'm a Trekkie. I love devices. I love gadgets. I love Marvel comics. Is it Marvel?
Yes.
Marvel comics. So we've been learning the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars. They're not the same thing. One is people with the ears, the other is Luke, I'm your father. We're always confused over which is which. By we, I mean me. So we have this conversation a lot. And by conversation, I mean fight. So you have to decide what you want your brand to be. If I decide me, Donna Sarkar, is going to become the biggest Star Trek fan in the world, it's not going to happen. It's not authentic. The first time one of you asks me to speak Klingon, everything falls apart, right? So you have to figure out what is the vision you want to see in the world. What is it? It doesn't need to be related to your work. As exhibited, Being a nerd, kind of related to work, not so much. Being a public figure, a good writer, good speaker like Raji Raj, kind of related to work, not necessarily. It's who you are as a human. Remember, you take your brand with you everywhere you go. It's not just this job you're in. It's going to go with you everywhere you go until you rewrite it from scratch. So what is the vision statement? I believe that no one in the world should be told that they're too ambitious. I hear this a lot for women and underrepresented minorities especially, or from people trying to change careers. They get told, well, that's very ambitious of you. I got told this. I decided, hey, I'm gonna be a fashion designer. People are like, you work at Microsoft, nerd. You write books and stuff. You can't be a fashion designer, you've never gone to fashion school. I'm like, then I'll go to fashion school, won't I? Then they're like, oh, you can't do that because you have to set up a boutique and travel around the world. I said, you decide that. No. What is the change you want to see in the world? You have to know your own personal vision statement. It's a change you want to see in the world. The thing you do about it, that's your mission. You know how everyone's confused about vision and mission? This is the difference. Vision is the change you want to see in the world. Mission is, what am I, the human, or I, the organization, going to do about it? Mine is particularly like, I'm going to hero make humans who are living 9 lives in this one, because people are like, oh, you can't be so ambitious as to want all of these different things. There's no way in hell you can be a speaker, a fashion designer, a writer, and an author. It doesn't work that way. We're like, okay, we'll just do it until it does, right? And then you've got to talk about it. That's the thing. It can't be a secret. You can't go do stuff by yourself in your office and be like, my brand is awesome. I know about it. Me and Kilo know, and no one else knows. It doesn't work that way, right? Right. Then the fourth thing is, what are you going to create? You've got to know the thing you're going to create. Because for you to try to create something that you don't like to create, you're not going to do it. If someone's not a good writer, don't say, I'm going to be a blogger. If you're not a good coder, don't say you're going to go set up a brand on GitHub, unless that's something you want to develop. So you have to very purposefully, and I make everyone fill out this worksheet. There's a lot of worksheets in these people's lives. Can we agree there's a lot of worksheets in people's lives? Yeah. So fill out the worksheet, figure out what's your vision, what do you care about, why do you care about this, what are you going to do about it, and how. So now you've made a plan. You know, like at work, you got to say, where are we at, where do you want to be, let me make a plan. What's the third thing? You got to do the thing, right? It's very good that you have a plan written down on a sheet of paper. Don't put it in a desk drawer and say, I'm going to do it next year. No, you're going to do it now. You're going to do it now. You have to start doing that thing that you want to be known for, and you have to share it in a public way. Whatever that is. If you're good at taking photographs, which I am not, share that shit on Instagram, right? If you're a good writer, use Medium, LinkedIn. If you're witty and interesting, use Twitter. We are not, well, he is, but I'm not, but I still use Twitter. You don't need to be the best in the world. Whatever it is that you're good at, and if you're good at dev, please set up a GitHub and have like a bunch of cool projects. Show your work. Show your work in progress. Don't say, oh, I'm going to show all this in a year once I have a brand. The way a brand builds is if people come along with you on your journey. Publish your first article. And then you're going to create 4 artifacts, okay? 4 artifacts. You're going to use these everywhere. So make sure you create these, and you have to create them. Because if you don't create them, I'll find out that you didn't create them, and then you get thrown out of an airplane window like these 2 people. Yeah. 1, your mission vision statement. You have to know what they are. 2, you need a non-boring bio. Okay, if your bio starts with, I am an IT manager at this company, like, no one cares. Anyone can be an IT manager at this company. That's not your job. That's not your bio. It's not who you are. Your bio is what you want people saying about you. What do you want people saying about you? If you want examples of good bios, check out their LinkedIn profiles. It's right there at the top, bio. It takes a little while to write one. It's going to take a few tries. But once you have a non-boring bio, you want to use it all the time. And people call you out and say, your bio is really good. I'm like, yeah, I know. I worked hard at it. I didn't just list everywhere I've worked. That's not a bio. People like to do that. No. Third is, you do need a personal website. Why do you need a personal website? Because any day, YouTube or Instagram or Twitter can decide to shut down. They can decide. It's run by a person. They can say, I'm done with the social media profile. It's gone. You don't want all of your brand to rest on a thing that you do not own. Own all of your words and all of your videos. Keep backup copies in the cloud, not under Hans's desk, in the cloud. Sorry. And then you need a social channel by which to amplify. Because if you're very prolific, people will go to your website, but people don't remember. So you do want a social channel to amplify everything you create. So if you're creating words, you're creating code, you're creating visuals, you're creating videos, do that on your own site. Amplify on social channels. Engage with others like you. It seems super basic, but it really does work, as proven. And then you measure in 3 months. We're all the engineering sort. We're all about the measuring of the impact, right? This is a project. The project is you. Measure the impact of the work you're doing. Figure out what's working. Which of your articles or videos or code is resonating with others? Probably that's going to be the ones that are going to rise in the search results. What do your search results look like after 3 months? Do yourself a favor and do a snapshot of the before and say, before ordinary world, basic. After, take snapshots. I do snapshots once a month just to see what's working and what's not. You are in the business of the most important thing in your life. It's the business of you. You are the most important business there is right now for you. Because this is the thing that has gotten you this far. And this is the thing that's going to carry you throughout your life. It is the most important business in your life, the business of you. You absolutely need to commit a season to the business of you. You commit a season to watching football, you could definitely commit a season to the business of you. Can we all agree that we commit 3 months to the business of us? Yes? October, November, December. Guess what? By New Year's, your resolution's done. How cool is that? Huh? Imagine you start the new year having achieved your resolution. You can do whatever you want next year. That's pretty good, huh? Yeah. This is not going to be, it's not going to feel good. Honestly, it's not. It's like going to the gym. It's awful. I don't go. But comfort zones are really comfortable. It's called that for a reason. They don't call it the uncomfortable zone. They call it the comfort zone because you like it. But you have to get out of the comfort zone. If magic was going to happen in your comfort zone, it would have happened by now. It's pretty rare that magic comes knocking at your door and they're like, hey, Brandon, comfort zone time. Let me hang out in comfort zone because I'm magic. It doesn't work that way, right? And it sucks, right? It's kind of painful. It's terrible. But both of you survived. They survived. I brought them as, witnesses and proof. They survived. And would you say both of your lives are like infinitely better now? They have to say that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Look at them.
Otherwise, she'll lock me in a room.
Room again. Okay.
More worksheets.
More worksheets. Here's the thing. How does this relate to work? Because it's your job. In fact, it's your job. Satya says it all the time. My legacy is for you to use your passion to realize your passion through Microsoft's platform. The power of companies is in its employees. That's how we build better products. That's how we serve our customers better. That's how we work better together. We started noticing as we brought our whole selves to work, who we truly, truly are to the table. We all got along better. We started realizing each other as humans, not by the dumb title that's on your business card. Okay? Go choose your own title, not the one assigned to you by an organization because they were uncreative. Go create the non-boring bio. My title is not actually Chief Ninja Cat. I just call myself that. Guess how many people have complained and made me stop? 0. We've got a guy on our team called Chief Data Dude. Guaranteed that's not a real title. No one has complained.
Because he's very good with R. I said I would say that on stage, sorry.
Raji also has a brand of me having horrible jokes. We bury that one. Oh my God. All right. So if you need help, I've managed to sucker quite a few people into this. Holly over there, lovely woman with blonde hair, she's a part of Do the Thing group. She lived to tell the tale. I've suckered quite a few people into this process. My first book, Do the Thing, we gave that away on Sunday. That was about how the heck do you get out of your comfort zone when you don't want to. It's mostly me yelling at you. The second part, Spin Your Tail, is this process I've walked you guys through. We talk a lot about both of these things in this Facebook group, so please join us if you're up for it. Right now, though, we're going to have like a fun little AMA where you can ask us whatever you want. And people who ask questions, my good colleague Jeremiah will run you a book with a microphone. Thank you so much for being here today. I am going to follow up and make sure you spun your tail. If you haven't, you will get locked in a room and terrorized until you're on stage with me next year. Thank you. Questions?
Okay. So like right when you started like talking about all of this, what immediately came to mind to me is like this is something that people probably encourage you to do to like help you like you know land a job, but like at the same time they tell you to like they tell you not to do things like like I'm a film producer, you know, when I'm trying to when I'm trying to get a job as a web developer, because that has nothing to do with web development. Like, how can you take those kind of things, like the things that, you know, your personal brand, and like put it in a way in like your resume or like your LinkedIn or whatnot that actually adds instead of like looks like a distraction?
So I love this question because a lot of people have this notion. So it's not 1995. No one uses Yahoo stock except Jeremiah. And Blair, but including Chief Data Dude. The thing is that every company wants you to bring your whole self to work. This is how we build better products, even if they don't know it yet. The only reason I got asked to speak here is not because I'm a software engineer on Windows. It's because of all those other things. You will get way more opportunities if you call out the other parts of you rather than just your job title. So when we see a resume and it has other things on it, like, hey, I'm a film producer, I'm like, we need to hire this person because we have creative work that needs to be done. It's like you get all that stuff for free, right? Do you think that Scott Hanselman does not put he's a prolific speaker on his resume? He definitely has that on his resume, right? He puts diabetes advocate, prolific speaker, blogger, podcaster, because those things are all relevant to who he is as a person. And do you really want to work for a company who doesn't want you the way you are? Because you don't. You can only hide who you are for so long. So please put it on your LinkedIn and on your resume. If you looked at my LinkedIn, you're going to say, like, what the heck do you even do? But if you read the non-boring bio, you'll get it. Do we agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
First, thank you very much for the time today. And this is for any or all of you. How much personal do you end up weaving into the professional, whether it be online or in the business there? I mean, how much is allowed, and how do you do it, and what's worked best for you?
Because it's my professional brand that I want to build as well. You're right that you want to make sure that you don't want to put all the stuff that I'm putting on WhatsApp with Donna and Jeremiah, and you don't want to put all of it out there. So you need to have that filter. But I strongly believe, and a lot of people around the world believe that authenticity is very, very important, right? Like you have to be authentic. So if you bring that complete self out there and people are able to see that complete self, I think that is going to be very, very helpful. So I do make sure that there is, it's my personal story comes across. So one of my LinkedIn articles, for instance, is about me, how I was when I was growing up. I actually did not plan to become an engineer or a tech leader or anything like that. And this was it was an accidental thing. I was an accidental programmer, right? So, and then the first few years, I struggled with programming. I struggled with learning computer science. So now, and interestingly, some of the people that read that article, my engineers, they came back to me and they told me that I don't believe it. You don't look like you struggled with computer science at all. And it helps in two ways. It helps in you putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, so everyone can be vulnerable too. It creates a better culture in the team. But also, it helps in people thinking right now, they may be thinking that, well, I'm not a good programmer, so I can never be a tech leader in a company like Microsoft. But you sharing that story that, yeah, not too long ago, I was not a great programmer either, I think it helps in making sure that other people also feel like they can do that too, right?
So the thing to know is, what do you want people to ping you for? That's just the question, right? I am strangely, a really, really good knitter. I don't want anyone to ping me for that, so I will not mention it, right? I don't want to be like, hey, Donna, you knit me hats. No, I don't want to knit you hats, so I won't mention it anywhere. right? Likewise, I used to work in CRM software. I don't want anyone to ping me about that, so I don't write it down. Donna, CRM expert, don't. Your personal brand should be what you want to do more of, not less of. This goes with rebrands. My husband is undergoing this now. He's a software engineer, leader, dev director, but he wants to be a professional chef. So he brands himself as a professional chef. He doesn't want people to hit him up for dev jobs. So it's what you want people to ping you for more of. But definitely your personal self, the authenticity, and the vulnerability really does matter.
Well, I bring a lot of my personal, like,
There's lots of Star Trek figurines in my office.
I mean, I grew up being a Microsoft fanboy. Technology is something that I'm passionate about, but it's also very much Microsoft technology. And so I am authentically at work a Microsoft fanboy. Because I work at Microsoft, I'm trying to kind of, control that a little bit so that way I'm not just known as the Microsoft guy, but there's all these other nerdy components to that as well. And so I kind of, it kind of bleeds together. But I think that makes me stronger at work. And then it also makes me stronger as a person. So it all works out.
Because it's you.
It's me. And, everyone I work with, they encourage that and they like seeing that. And
Encourages others.
yeah, and then others see that, and then they're like, oh, well, I need to be authentically myself as well. And that's really awesome to see, so.
I think you were next right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, while you're rebranding or while you're establishing your brand, how do you manage distraction and divergence? Because to your point, you don't want people to ping you for things that you've done in the past, but oftentimes that brand is so well established that they continue to ping you.
This is true.
This is a very good question, because I actually see that all the time with, through my personal blog. I have Windows insiders who will fill out the contact form and asking me, giving me feedback about Windows 10 builds through my personal blog, or asking me when we're releasing a new build. I'm like, okay. It's a challenge. It can be a challenge, and you just kind of have to stay focused and be, professional, be polite, remind those folks who are like crossing into the area where they're, like, hey, this is me. The right approach is to go over here, direct them. I think that helps a little bit, but it's something that I'm personally having to deal with and haven't found the right answer for it.
One thing that does work is to find another expert at that thing and say, go see them. They really like it shiny over here, right? And then the second one, which actually works really well, is humans like attention. So if you don't pay attention to it, they will stop asking you, right? They really will. And it's really hard in rebranding. It's like, you know what, just be clear, I'm not doing this anymore. This person is, and then stop responding.
The other thing that has helped me, because over time also in my career, I have rebranded what I stand for. Early on in my career, I was this junior engineer that was very interested in engineering excellence, and then over time, it's more, this person is an empathetic leader that cares about technical strategy. Then every single switch was a conscious rebranding, and you have to be prolific with the content towards your new brand, like what you speak, what you care for. You have to make sure that content and that's actually much, much more than what you have in the past, right? So it's work, but yeah, it can be done.
I think you had a question. Did someone give him one? Okay, thank you.
Hi. All of this I've been doing for the past couple of years now, and but it was mostly kind of dormant. And then in the last month, I found I actually do knit. I'm very proud of it, and I want to sell my stuff. I opened up an online store and did a craft booth. But the difficulty I'm facing is keeping up with doing the posts on various social media. And do you have any tips of how to keep up with getting yourself out there and also getting over the fear of talking about yourself?
Putting yourself out there. Okay, I'll tell you this. I think this was in Kenya, maybe a little later. I published my first LinkedIn article.
And by
agonized.
published, we mean
Okay, I published it ultimately, but I agonized. I think we were sitting at a coffee shop. I agonized. I was like, can you review this article? Can you give me some feedback? Okay, I'm going to send it to my husband. I'm going to send it to my five friends. Please give me feedback because maybe I've not punctuated it properly. Maybe I've not used the right words. Maybe people will know that, this is not very good at all. So just hitting that publish button, there was so much fear of rejection. It is real, right? But I think you have to, the more you do it, it's just like anything. Like the more you ride your bicycle, the more you run, the more you code, the more you knit, you get better at it, right? So I think the more I'm going to hit publish, you actually get over your fear of rejection, because that is ultimately what it is. That I don't know if people will accept what I have done. I don't know if people will accept me for who you are, but you will, with practice, I have found personally, it can be overcome.
and the time management bit. Time management's a real issue.
Yeah.
I think, there's a million wealth manager people out there. No one talks about time management. It's the most important currency you've got because you can't make more. And people feel incredibly entitled to your time, incredibly entitled. They're like, can I grab an hour of your time? It's like saying, can I beat you up and steal $10 from you? What? No. That's how it sounds, right? Can I grab an hour of your time to pick your brain? No. That's crazy. So here's the thing. You have to be very deliberate over what you are willing to spend your time on. I am very picky about time management. I yell at them a lot about this. I yell a lot. I don't know why I have friends. But here's the thing. There's things in your life. You have to break out your activities into mandatory or not mandatory. There's mandatory. I must commute to work. I must go to this job. There's not mandatory. You don't actually need to go to that happy hour for that dude you do not like. You don't need to, go to that housewarming. Housewarmings are boring. No one will notice you're not there. Like, these are not mandatory activities. The things that don't bring you joy and are not mandatory, stop doing them.
Okay.
You'll be shocked at how much time you free up, right? I stopped going to things I'm not dying to go to, right? One of my favorite authors says, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. If you can reclaim some time, seriously, just do a little tracking spreadsheet, hour by hour, how you spent that hour, and say mandatory, not mandatory, joy, not joy. Highlight all the things that are not joy and not mandatory. Stop doing them. Stop 3 months, that's all. Just say, I'm gonna do this again in 3 months. Right now I'm working on a project. Tell someone you're working on a secret project, they will not mess with you. You get 3 months. Say, after the new year, I'm gonna pick this back up again. You'll never pick it back up again.
I'm personally, that's a thing I'm trying to be better at is time management. I'm really shitty at it. And what I'm trying to do is I'm actually taking a lot of advice from Donna in terms of being picky about my time and what I want to do and what I don't want to do, whether it's meetings at work, to stuff, outside of work. I'm finding that, sitting down, planning, like I'm going to write, I'm going to do, plan some social media posts, that really can make a difference. So like if you're going to be busy for the week, you could go and like TweetDeck, plan some tweets, have them automatedly, throughout the week. But it's something that it can be challenging, and I'm trying to be better at it.
Thank you.
Yes.
So in imposter syndrome, you talked about wanting to be the person that gets pinged for something or start a blog, but not if you're bad at writing. Well, what if all you think is, well, there's probably somebody better to ping about it, or maybe I shouldn't start a blog because I'm not good at writing? Do you have any tips on dealing with that?
Yes, so I'm gonna make them also tell theirs, but there's a trick I use pretty much every day, which is, who's a friend you have that you really care about a lot? What's their name? Steve. Steve comes to you. And what's your name? Trevor. Steve comes to you and says, hey, Trevor, I've been wanting to start a blog on this thing that I'm really into, but I'm not that good at it. So I think I'm not going to start a blog. And instead, I'm going to think about a blog, and I'm going to talk about a blog, and I wish I started a blog, and in a year, I still won't have a blog. Is that okay?
No.
What would you say?
Just start it, yeah.
Right. So you treat your friend Steve better than you treat yourself. Why is the business of Steve better than the business of Trevor? It ain't.
Well, try it. like don't don't go into it as like I'm going to be bad at it. You know, try it out. I mean, I know a lot of people who started blogs who didn't even think that they really liked writing, and all of a sudden they really enjoy it. And it may be that they enjoy. It's not the writing they enjoy; it's the engagement. You know, for me, it's both. But like, it's, you know, there's no harm in trying and kind of testing to see what works. Blogging may be it. Twitter might be it. Snapchat. I discovered Snapchat just recently, and it's
Why?
it's awful. So that's not. I'm not going to invest in that.
So I do have a few suggestions because I have, you know, I've dealt with it too, and I think I have realized over the course of my career that most people have dealt with it. Like, I'll give you an example. So I'm sitting at a table with a CVP and a bunch of very senior leaders at Microsoft, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, geez, I'm the young upstart in this group. I don't belong in this table at all, and somehow I have found myself here, and you know, I'm not very. It's pretty soon they're going to find out that I'm not very good, right? And then I develop friendships with a number of these folks at the table. And we start talking, and it becomes very clear to me that everybody is dealing with their own insecurities. There is this guy who's sitting there, a very senior leader, and he's like, I'm not very good at technology. I'm very good at business, but I'm not very good at technology. You seem to be very good at technology. Like, you know, I just don't want to say the wrong thing when it comes to engineering. Like, everybody is dealing with insecurities of their own. So everybody, if you just put that in your mind, like, look around this room, everybody has some insecurity that they're dealing with, and it's just being human, right? Imposter syndrome, having this feeling of insecurity is just being human. And it's the same thing. The other day I talked to one of my very good friends. He did an amazing job at one of our big engineering reviews, speaking in front of all the leaders in the company. And I was like, my God, you rocked it. And he was like, I was nervous. I was so nervous. And I was like, no, you were not. You didn't appear nervous at all. But even when people have that confident self, they're dealing with all those emotions inside. And this is why I think sharing these stories and being vulnerable really helps. I wish more people did that. But just have that in your head that everybody is feeling that.
So, question for the room. How many of you have felt like an imposter, like you're going to be fired at any second? Trevor. You ain't alone, champ. You ain't alone. Looks like no one belongs here. Why did we get sent to Ignite? What are our managers thinking? My God. We have time for one question, then we got to scram.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So, okay. How do you get past the anxiety? So I was reading like step one. I'm like, okay, I can ask my boss and some coworkers what my brand is and all of that. But how do you decide what you want to be? Because when I think about it, there's so many things I want to do. And then I did this exercise where I wrote them all down one time, and I had so much anxiety that I just kind of put it away. Like
That's very normal. This is very normal. So I'll answer very quickly, and this has worked. It's what you want to do next.
Oh.
This is not your brand for the rest of your life, so help me God till you die. This is, you're going to live a long time. A long, long, long time. Your brand has changed dramatically from when you were 1 and you ate sand till now. It's changed every year, it turns out, right? So choose something you're cool with doing for like a year and a half, 3 years. Maybe your brand will be that forever. Maybe it won't, right? It's just what you want to do next. That's all.
Your brand will evolve. Like a couple years ago, I didn't realize it until I had owned several cars, but like I'm also a Ford fanboy. I love Ford.
Awesome.
And so that kind of worked its way into my brand in terms of like what I talk about, what I'm following in terms of like I follow the Ford dudes. I wrote about their electric stuff on my blog, and so your brand will evolve as you grow, and so that's perfectly, I don't know, I would say, that's what makes us all very interesting. So what you're doing next and what you're going to do after that, and then what is of your interest, et cetera, et cetera. So
Please do join the group and ask these questions, because I guarantee, how many of you really resonated with a question or comment that someone else made here today? Look, everyone, so you ain't alone. The other people are feeling this way as well. It's cool to be vulnerable, because don't you like us more now? Right? Right? Yeah. Okay.
I need to join the group. I didn't know about it until just now.
No one listens. No one listens. Okay, this is why everyone gets yelled at. But please do join the group. Holly, yes? Yes. So Holly attests. I didn't even pay her to do this, so it's fine. It's good. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Please enjoy Ignite, and see you next year.
We'll be around. You could come by our